Hey coaches, the most popular defense that most recreation youth basketball teams run is the 2-3 zone. So we've got to have a good offense to be able to pick apart that zone defense and execute. What I'm doing right now is I'm creating a series of offensive videos about offensive plays and just motion offenses, just to get you prepared to go against a 2-3 zone. So I'm going to talk today about one that is really a shooting play. So if you have two good shooters, then you want them in there on this one. This is an easy one to kind of go over a couple times in practice and then execute this one, after either a dead ball situation or maybe a timeout, or when you're first coming into the game after a break. It's a good one that you can just show on your board real fast and say, hey guys, remember this play? We worked on it in practice, and just kind of get them where they need to be and then run it. It's a neat one because the way you're stacked up in here, the team, it just doesn't work with a 2-3 zone, right? I have the players stacked up here, and so it's just kind of an awkward one for the zone to actually set up on. So it'll be something that the other team hasn't seen before, and especially like a recreation level basketball team, they probably won't know how to defend against this one. I wouldn't run this a bunch of times during a game, but if it's a recreation team and you run it once in the first quarter and then once in the third, you'll probably be successful at getting a few shots off. So this one's a really good one for that. But before I go into showing you this offense, I want to just quickly pitch a PDF that I've created. It's a strategy guide really designed for recreation basketball coaches. It's 40 plus pages of just things that I think all recreation youth basketball coaches should know going into it. It'll help you kind of develop what your strategy will be. It'll help you figure out what you want to go over in practice. I think it'll save a lot of your time. It's really things that I learned throughout my coaching career that I think would have been very helpful if I had it my very first year of coaching. So just check it out down below. I think it's a good resource. I'm curious to see what you think about it. But just jumping in now to this video. The setup here is you want your point guard with the ball right up at the top. You want to put a player over here on the side, kind of, and you'll notice that we're kind of in an overload scenario, which is really good for a zone defense, or for going up against a zone defense. We really only have one player on this side and then everybody else over here. So we have the 2, the 3, and the 4. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you got a good shooter down here where the 2 is, and you want to make sure you got a good shooter where the 4 is. So you might have to, mix it up. So, sometimes our 4s aren't great shooters, but you want to mix that up to wherever you just got your good shooter here, your good shooter here. Now, as you can see, this is really an awkward setup. Your 2-3 zone defense, and if the other team is a recreation team and, they're just like, oh, we're playing a 2-3 zone, but man, the offense isn't where they're really supposed to be, they're going to have a hard time trying to figure out where to set up. So we really don't know where they're going to set up, but we know that they're going to be in that zone. And so what you want to do is you want your smart ball handler, you want him to push the ball to the 5. And we don't know, like this defender might be right here. We don't know. And if this defender is right here, have your 5 kind of pop up and make sure that we can get a pass to him. Okay? So, and then once that pass goes, and really what we're trying to do is we're just trying to get them to shift a little, because it's very possible that this player will pop down onto this guy, which is okay. It's not what we want, but we're going to push the ball here, and then we're going to push it here. Now we want that 1 to be like, on guard, ready to go, so that we can kind of get this player to move. We want this player to be eyes on this guy. We don't want him to see what this person's doing. And that's going to be probably the hardest part of this play. But don't worry, if that doesn't work, I've got another idea. You want to get this guy to kind of dribble at this player, and you want this player to focus his or her attention on the dribbler. And we really, we want the 4 to pop out, and we want to get a pass to the 4. If you pass the ball to the 4 and this guy's tracking on it, it's not going to work. You might as well just go back into an offense. But you want to get that ball to the 4. So now what you end up having is, and again, we're going to these recreation teams where they're a little less experienced, you're probably going to see this defender come up a little bit, maybe even go all the way to him. We don't know what's going to happen there. You know, this player is going to have to make a decision. This player will probably start moving in that direction. This player will have an open shot, maybe. But at the same time, once that ball's there, that 2 wants to pop out. And, you know, this player is going to have a decision to make. Who do I guard? Where do I go? And it's going to be a split-second decision because that ball is going to go boom, shot open, take it. If not open, pop it over to the 2 and let the 2 take a shot. Look, there's no way that this player can guard both. Now, if they're, you know, an experienced team, which is unlikely in recreation basketball, right? But you could, they could be, you know, in cahoots and kind of figure it out. This player won't fall for it, or he'll close out really quick on this guy, probably foul him. But, you know, and then maybe this one does see it. And if this one sees it before he pops up, maybe he does kind of see it and he goes out, then, you know, now you've got that guy open. Obviously this player can come out, but your 5 can pop down. So, you know, you got a couple options here, but mainly this play is for that corner 3 or that wing 3, and also, you know, if they leave the 3 open, the small forward, you can pop it over to them, pass it over to them, and, you know, they'll either have a quick jump shot or a drive on, you know, on this defender's movement. So that's that. So, you know, an easy play. Again, like I said in the beginning of the video, run this, practice this a couple times in practice, and then run it out of a timeout or run it after halftime if, you know, if you're coming in. The stack on the side, the overload, it's awkward and it'll confuse the defense. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, I am doing a series of 2-3 zone offenses or plays against a 2-3 zone. I'm going to put the next video up in the corner below or above, and hopefully you'll check that video out. Until the next video.